Hey everybody, and welcome to episode 145 of the Revive Yourself podcast. Here we go.
Are you sick and tired of being sick and tired? Have you got a health issue that just won't go away no matter what you try? Then welcome to the Revive Yourself podcast, where we reveal the secrets to long-lasting health by getting to the root cause of problems that no one else is talking about. So you can have more energy, clear skin, healthier hair, a leaner physique, more confidence, and most importantly, do the things you love and live the life you deserve. Here's your host, Ryan Martin.
So people, welcome back to the show, episode 145. Had a little week off last week. Lots to do, lots going on in terms of, just the book, which if you haven't got yet, head on over to www.thechronicfatiguesolution.com. That's www.thechronicfatiguesolution.com. If you've been dealing with a chronic health issue, not just chronic fatigue, it's to give you the 3 big secrets to health. And the sale's been going good. I've had to sign a couple of books going out to the International Women Speakers Conference this week, which is great. Getting lots of good feedback from the book. So let me know if you read it and you enjoy it. Give me a shout on Facebook. You can find my personal profile at Ryan Martin, or we've got our Revive page. Just go to Revive Yourself Natural Health on Facebook, or you can follow our Revive Self on Instagram. And if you can, tag yourself in it. Tag yourself with a picture of reading the book, or just tag a picture of the book with the tagline, The Chronic Fatigue Solution. And I'm going to put you in. I was going to give it out beginning of February, but we're going to do middle to end of February. We're going to pick a winner to see who can get our free 21-day health reset that will start off your health journey. But yeah, it's been lots going on, getting some really good guests lined up for you as well. The last interview with Wade Lightheart was fascinating. Got some really good feedback on that. People loving it, and these products are going to be available on our shop soon. Talking about that, if you do head on over to www.reviveyourself.co, that's www.reviveyourself.co. We have got lots of quality products there for you. Everything there is recommended by me. We've got our Evolution Organics products with the Living Fuel Super Greens and Super Berry and the Ultimate Berry. Best all-round products on the market by none. You can use them as a supplement or as a whole meal replacement. Then, we've got so many things on there. We've got our Ancient and Brave cacao and collagen mix, lots of different tinctures for your liver, immune boosting mushrooms, and my particular favourite is lion's mane, as well as the 10 superfood blend. Then we've got our great products from Ancient Purity, the royal jelly that is what the queen bee exclusively eats, immune boosting, great for cognitive performance, many things. It's just immune system regeneration, fascinating, youthing, anti-aging, pearl powder. You've got our vitamin D3 vitamin D3 K2 blend, as well as the vitamin C, liposomal vitamin C. Great products from the Finchley Clinic with our Restore for the gut, to restore the gut lining, as well as our gut revival bundles, and our whole house water filtration systems from Aquaterra. Whether you've got a 1, 2, 3 or 4 bed house, we've got you covered. Hard or soft water, got exactly what you want, and they'll last from 7 to 10 years. Take away all the nasties, because I always say to people, it's not just the water you're drinking, it's the water you're washing in, cleaning your teeth in, washing your clothes in, your bed sheets, and washing your food in. And we've got our essential oils from essentialoilwizardry.com, and that's our guest today, Dr. Nick Berry from essentialoilwizardry.com. If you haven't listened to our first episode with him, then I suggest you go back and do it. He's an absolute encyclopedia of knowledge when it comes to essential oils. He's a former chemist, and he has a doctorate in medicine and in pharmaceuticals. So he knows about that world. And he went to the jungle and realized, why am I using synthetic medications when I can be using plant medicines and things that nature give us to get the same and even better results, not even the same results, better results that actually work long term. And so in this episode, we covered lots. We covered things that is coming up on the horizon for Nick and Essential Oil Wizardry. He's actually got a new site that will be going live at the end of the month. And we talked all about different essential oils for different things. So, for example, male balding in men, hormones or hormonal issues in women. Talks about great essential oils for the AM, for getting you out of bed, and the PM for winding down, for stimulating your libido, for essential oils for having fun with your partner, essential oils for antifungals for children. We looked into so many. We've got a whole immunity, traveling, stopping radiation. Great for just energy. So many different things we went into, and it was fantastic. Fantastic conversation. As well as Dr. Nicky's going to be, as he explains on the show, having more retreats, one-to-one work with people. So, without further ado, and in fact, actually, if you go to the website and you put in the code REVIVE in small letters, you get 10% off all of his products, which would be fantastic. They're highly recommended. Also the one I forgot, eczema, psoriasis, we're going into that as well. So any skin issues, which is fantastic. So, without further ado, here he is. Here's Dr. Nick. Enjoy, and I'll see you on the other side.
Yeah.
Looking very colourful as always.
Vibrant and happy as well.
Yeah. Sweet. I'm wearing black and I'm still quite happy, but yeah, okay. Awesome, mate. How you been? How's things?
Yeah, I'm doing well, man. It's been a powerful year of growth and transformation for me. I feel like a lot of things are coming into alignment and going to the next level. I feel like 2020 is going to take things to a whole nother tier of wonder. And I have a wonderful woman in my life, and we just got the lab back up and running. So I'm stoked. We're doing more ultrasonic extracts. And,
really?
So, man. And I'm going to be doing more educational events this year, and have been expanding our Alchemy Tribe membership as well. And we're going to start having more private content and deeper education for our members. So I'm pretty pumped about what the year has to offer.
Oh, that's awesome. That's great. That's just for people out there. That's at www.essentialoilwizardry.com, right?
Yes.
Yeah, perfect. It's not going to be a separate site for the private members.
It's going to be on essentialoilwizardry.com.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's awesome. That sounds wicked, my man. So there's lots. When will you be doing like the education stuff? Do you know when you'll be starting that?
Yeah. So, I actually have a private training with one of our Alchemy Tribe members this weekend, and we're going to be recording some of that. And so the site is live, and it has some content, not much on it, but that will be changing after this weekend. We'll have more content available. So,
So it will be mainly online teaching, not. We have anything at your actual place in Oregon?
Yeah, I'm going to be doing both. So I'll have different size events for Alchemy Tribe members. One like a gathering. I'm going to offer opportunities for smaller groups to come to the lab in Ashland, and I'm also hosting some larger botanical retreats this year as well. So I'm really pumped about the year.
Oh, awesome, my man. It sounds wicked. I mean, I know since we last spoke, I've seen you're getting out there, and now it seems like you're everywhere. Everyone's talking about you and your oils, which is fantastic. Because, I mean, every time I put one of my clients or someone I know towards your site, they're like, oh my God, his site's amazing. But also they're like, I don't know what to get because there's so much. And so this is one of the things that when I go through, because your site is, you've got everything. You've got the individual oils, and you have like your different bundles and packages and certain things you do for different things. So I want to go through, just like touch on a few of those things today, just because I want to clear things up for people, because I know what it's like doing your site, and it is a magical place. You can get lost on there for hours. Literally, and everyone's got like your own video and explanation of it, so it's really, really important. Just so, because second time we've had you on, I want to go through like obviously a few things. Second time we had you on, so welcome back, and it's a pleasure to always you've always got a great energy about you, so it's always good to talk to you. But For people out there, just quickly, what makes your oils different to other essential oils? I know we covered a little bit we covered it on the first episode, but just in case people are new to this, just if you can quickly just let us know what it makes your oils different to everyone else's, Nick. Doctor.
Yeah. So we have lots of unique formulations, first of all. So everything from our Divine Align chakra sets, we have therapeutic formulas, we have botanical perfumes. So we have a wide array of different formulations. Now, in sourcing the oils, we're always choosing the most high quality organic or wild crafted essential oils, CO2 extracts, or floral absolutes. So we love supporting smaller companies, artisan distillers, wild crafters whenever possible as well. So in selecting the oils, we're always taking the time to make selections of the highest quality. Once we receive the oils, we have lots of different tuning techniques that we have for amplifying the potency of our products. So, I like to present this as it's our artisan touch. My father was an artist, and I would say that side is very active in me, even having a background in pharmacy. And so some different techniques that we've been discovering and exploring for amplifying our oils include tuning the oils using a set of 432 Hz crystal bowls. So actually putting the oils in a set crystal bowls and vibrationally tuning them. In a number of our blends, we also add in ORMUS. So ORMUS stands for orbitally rearranged monatomic elements. And, not to dive in too deep on that, but what I like to share as a perspective is adding these very fine minerals. And these fine minerals, when added in with the carrier oil and the essential oil, the minerals help to drive the oil molecules deeper into the skin and set longer onto the skin. And so it's a way to amplify the potency of the product. We have a number of other different techniques. Literally every few months we learn about a new enhancement, way of energizing the. An example, last year we started doing our own ultrasonic extractions using ultrasonic waves, and so this is a very powerful extraction method that produces a full spectrum extract, and it goes pretty quickly. The process of filtering and removing all the water and concentrating the extract is probably the process that takes the most time of it. And so for this process, in example, we've gone from distilled water to taking distilled water and pouring it through a water structuring device. And so by having a more vital type of water, we're able to really produce a superior quality product compared to what we were starting with initially. So what's amazing is as I continue to evolve, as more technology comes into my awareness, we're able to implement all of these different types of technologies into our products. So I like to present things as if I have a head and a background of science, and I can interpret the language of science, and I have an understanding and a comprehension of the mechanisms of action, and can utilize my brain to understand this. But I also have a relationship that I've been formulating over the past decade with the plants, and these plants are now communicating to me through my intuition, and through various techniques, I choose to blend and to formulate, really awesome products for the world.
So, right, people listening there, they might go, "Oh, that's a bit woo-woo. He's talking to the plants." So I want to get onto that. But in fact, we'll go there now because I want to ask afterwards, why would someone use a normal essential oil compared to an ultrasonic blend. It's ultrasonic, is that correct? Yeah.
Ultrasonic extract.
Ultrasonic
Yes.
extract. So, but firstly, people out there have been saying, "Well, you can't talk to the plants. That's madness." I think most people don't actually realise that the way that the drug companies even get their drugs is from going to shaman who originally talked to the plants, and those plants told them what plants would be better for what ailment, right? And so it's quite. I mean, because people are not aware of that. If they come into the scientific world, oh, that's madness. And there's a great book out there actually called The Secret Book of Plants. Can't remember who wrote that. Do you know who wrote that?
I don't. I'm familiar with what you're talking about, though.
Yeah, it's interesting. And just so people out there know, how is your relationship with the plants grown? Like when did it first happened when you actually went into the jungle, right? After doing your degree, didn't you go? I remember we spoke about this before. I think you went into the jungle or the Amazon and actually worked with them yourself.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, taking it even a step back, in talking about plants communicating with people, I just want to communicate that plants are rich in a material called terpenes. And these terpene molecules are what are responsible for flavor and fragrance in nature. And these terpene molecules, their function is to express and communicate amongst nature. And so a very clear example of this is a jasmine flower. It emits these terpene molecules and it smells very rich, radiant, and youthful. And when a person breathes it in and they feel softness around their heart and they feel more connected to those around them, and it brings back memories from their past. This is nature communicating with people, and nature does this amongst itself all the time. And so, just to kind of put more clear picture of what I'm describing about communicating with plants, because nature is always talking amongst itself, and we just need to tune ourselves to listen to what nature has to offer. Medicinal plants, they have, if we're sick and we have a sore throat and we're going into our garden and we pick some peppermint and we steep some peppermint into some hot water and we drink some peppermint tea, that is another form of, the peppermint plant saying, hey, pick me. And when you're ingesting the peppermint plant and it's helping to soothe the throat or open up the lungs, that's wisdom inherent from developing a relationship with the peppermint plant. And so everyone is capable of harnessing these types of relationships when we get a deeper connection with ourself and to the natural world around us.
I think that's one of the things that most people need to do. It's very hard today. I mean, people are bombarded by different frequencies, lots going on, so many distractions that and it's almost like they forget to have that relationship with themselves and with the outside world. It's almost, and because science a lot of the time, like, it tells you some of this time it's nonsense. It's amazing that people start to believe it, even when they have a feeling about something, like a gut feeling, and they think that's right, but they go with the general consensus. I always say to people, when has your gut feeling ever really led you down the wrong path? It's an amazing intrinsic feeling that you get. So that's really, really interesting. So why would someone, going back to we mentioned before about your ultrasonic extracts, why would someone pick one of them over your normal essential oils? I mean, have you only got a certain amount of the ultrasonic extracts at the moment?
Yeah. So we're doing some different rare and exotic plants with our ultrasonic extraction process. So the ultrasonic extracts produce a nice, rich, full spectrum extract, and we're concentrating it down to an extract and stabilizing it and putting it in a final tincture formulation. So we're adding some water and some alcohol. And they've been very amazing to work with, and people seem to be really enjoying them. Some of the different plants that we've extracted using that technology include mugwort, damiana, skullcap. We've done tulsi. We've done kanna. We've experimented with Salvia divinorum. So we've had quite a number of different interesting plants that we've been working with this process. Tribulus and epimedium are also some extracts that we've done. And so really lots of these ultrasonic extracts that we've produced are quite interesting. Either for therapeutic purposes or just really deepening consciousness or relaxing the mood or de-stressing the physical body.
So you've got you got lion's mane here, and you've also got something called clip dagger tincture. That's members only. Why is it members only? Is it pure, very pure?
Yeah, so the clip daga, that species of plant is it's a very interesting plant pharmacologically, and the closest thing that I could describe it to the user would be like something similar to cannabis.
Oh, really?
But the comparison is it probably has less anti-inflammatory properties, and it's less psychotropic and much more integratable into the day-to-day. So with clip daga, I don't experience the same foggy headedness that I would experience with cannabis. And by the way, I'm not a regular cannabis user. It doesn't work really well with my physiology. So I do enjoy clip daga, where cannabis is really not an ally to me. And so one of the reasons it's a members only is it's one of the products that we've produced in small batches, and so we choose to reserve it for our alchemy tribe.
Yeah, fair enough. That makes sense. And the lion's mane recently has got, I mean, the last couple of years it's gone quite viral, in terms of its neurotropic factors, enhancing brain function. And just people using it for also boosting the immune system. Lots of different qualities it's got. So is that powerful? Like, do you use it yourself?
Oh man, I'm excited that you brought up lion's mane. So we did a batch. One of our friends here who just moved to Portland, he was working with Paul Stamets directly for a number of years, and I believe he was his right-hand man. And he gave me about a pound of some dried lion's mane, and so that was the last extract that we did of 2019, and it is spectacularly potent. What I noticed from it was an increased awareness of my peripheral nervous system. So I feel a little bit enhanced awareness of my physical body, of my hands. I feel like there's increased cognitive awareness, and there's like a slight sense of increased presence and relaxation in the brain. And it's definitely a noticeable and powerful lion's mane tincture.
Yeah, I know. I've just seen it's out of stock, which is annoying, because I'd love to try some of that actually. I really will. I think lion's mane is one of the. I mean, all the. I think mushrooms are extremely powerful. Cordyceps, you got the different ones as well. But that lion's mane is something that I actually do really well with, and I like it in I usually have. Do you know 4-Sigmatic?
Yep. Yeah, I haven't experimented with their mushroom products yet, but do you like them?
Yeah, really good. Yeah, I really like them. They've got a 10 mushroom super blend, and they've also got like all individual ones. The lion's mane do really nice. It goes well with like a powdered RKOT. Have that in the morning, like a quadrupedra or like a cat's claw, very nice. But I think obviously that would be more powerful. Remember you saying that peppermint tea, for example, the one drop of it, peppermint essential oil is like 19 times as strong as peppermint tea, for example. So I'm imagining those drops of lion's mane extract would be extremely, potent.
Yeah, it's definitely noticeable, and we're using. Oftentimes, the percentages are between about 8 and I don't know, 14-ish% that we're using in the ultrasonic tinctures, and they're very noticeable. I find that there's an immediate physiological shift, and it seems to be pretty sustained. And what's interesting is it doesn't feel the same as a drug where it's
Spike.
you go up and you have a peak and a crash. It's a more sustained and soft curve where it is noticeable that you go up, but it's also a gentle shift, and it's very integratable on the back end as well. And so as the duration of its effects are completing, they're really integrating with you, and you feel integrated as opposed to depleted.
No, that's awesome. So yeah, I'll go through them. You've got so much on your site. It's really is like a playground for people, which is great. So that probably works because a lot of people are sensitive when you get into the natural health world. People have got into it, and a lot of them can be very sensitive to fragrances and different things. And so having something that doesn't buzz them up completely and has a nice gentle arc to it is very, very important. And also, I mean, it's pure anyway. So I mean, obviously, you can get a deep healing crisis with some of these things because they're so pure. But if you use them right, with a carrier, what would you recommend? Coconut oil as a carrier oil?
Yeah, for many of our blends, we pre-infuse them into a carrier oil, and we do enjoy having our products strong and potent, and so most people would be able to either use the oil as is if they're on the go, and or they can further dilute it and have the oil last even longer.
I think actually, did you say you use fractionated coconut oil with your stuff?
Yes, fractionated coconut oil is our most common carrier that we use for our products. The reason I like that is it's liquid at room temperature. It has a long, stable shelf life. It comes from a renewable resource. It absorbs well into the skin, and it doesn't have its own smell. And so, for those reasons, it's a very easy and effective carrier oil.
Awesome. And so because I know you mentioned before you don't put anything on your site about children, because I remember we talked about it, you said you stay away from it. Why is it? Because I just want to go a little bit into it. For example, not saying we're going to recommend or anything like that, but for your purposes, why is it important for people to be careful with essential oils with children? Is it because they're so powerful?
Essential oils are so powerful, and children's livers are not fully developed, and so it can be more challenging for the child to break down these powerful essential oils. So kind of a magic age that is described is have greater care in children under 2 in using essential oils. In infants under 2, I believe lavender and Roman chamomile. I saw one source that said dill, using these essential oils diluted in younger children under 2. That's some people's practice that I've seen in certain sources. Above 2, using other gentle oils as well might be acceptable. Things like peppermint would want to obviously be greatly diluted because it's so cooling and so strong. I really like to keep it simple. So, regarding children, I think using very low concentrations, like I would suggest diluting even our blends that are pre-diluted, probably about 10% of our blend infused in a carrier would make it more ideal for children above 2.
Awesome. And so, like, people just put, like, I say, a single drop into a tub, and they could just mix it around, for example, would work quite good. And say a tub, or like what they're going to put on them, so it would work quite well. So it just, it would really, dilute the product. I just wanted to talk about that because some people wanting to get their children off to sleep or relaxed, and they talk about essential oils. But I have mentioned before that they're extremely powerful, so you have to be cautious about that. And lavender would make sense. It's quite a mild one, and chamomile as well. You said chamomile and dill, so it's good for people to know. When it comes to I'll go through a few different things before we get on to a couple. Just going to hit a couple of topics here, Nick, just because I always get these questions. What about this and what about for that? And I was like, okay, we're going to go into it. And you have got a few different sets on your thing that we're going to. But for someone because we talk about sometimes children or people in a young age, they can get skin issues, for example, psoriasis, eczema, things like this. What would you recommend for them?
Yeah. So, what I've been told from people's feedback when I've made suggestions about different skin issues, there's a few products I would kind of look at. So, our Violet Chill formulation seems to be supportive for mild to moderate flare-ups and conditions. And Violet Chill contains lavender, cedar, frankincense, myrrh, and helichrysum. And I would imagine that this would be safe and easy to use in children over 2. I would also, I guess for younger children, maybe under 6, I would further dilute this Violet Chill as well and apply it on topically. Our Alleviate formula might be a little bit more of a heavy hitter for people that have deeper scarring wounds associated with the skin flare-ups. Alleviate is a powerful formulation of, I believe, 7 different essential oils and CO2 extracts. Things like rose and turmeric and helichrysum and St. John's wort. Is
that one got the sea buckthorn in it as well?
I believe it does. Yeah, it's a real powerful mixture of different vulnerary herbs that are really helpful for cuts, wounds, healing, reducing inflammation, aiding with scarring, and so Alleviate would be a go-to. Now. I think generally speaking, lavender and or something like German chamomile can be for really generalized skin inflammation or upsets. I really want to highlight the chamomile, specifically German chamomile. German chamomile, I've found, has a really powerful anti-inflammatory and anti-allergenic response. And so for people who have really powerful allergies during spring or late summer, what I found as one of the best ways to really curb the allergenic response is taking about a 50-50 of helichrysum and German chamomile and applying it right below the nose and doing that several times a day. I find that it's effective for several hours at really reducing the allergenic response that we have to all the pollens and dust in the air. And what I notice with time, and this is kind of my personal experience, and I've shared this with quite a number of clients and friends over the years, and I see a general trend of effectiveness. is that with time, it doesn't make the allergies go away, but it helps the body to adapt to whatever the allergens in the environment are at a quicker level. And so typically, if I were to just use that combination and use it several times a day, it doesn't have a long duration of action, which is why you need to reapply it several times per day. But your body starts recognizing the allergen, and typically within about 1 to 2 weeks, the body will have a dulled response to the allergen.
So that was Hello Christian and German chamomile.
Yeah, precisely.
And you'd use what, a drop of each?
Yes.
Okay, and that's for, say, spring and allergies like that. Have you had done anything with, like, people who have sneezing fits at all?
I would probably suggest something similar to the combination that I just recommended.
Yep.
If they have a lot of, I would say if it's a wet, kind of mucusy, kind of cough, and our Spark formulation is really good for opening up the respiratory system, and it's also slightly drying and breaks up mucus. And our Respire would be for a little bit more of drier lungs and scratchy throat.
So if it was just for like an allergy, like sneezing fit sort of thing, do you think the first formula?
I believe the German chamomile helichrysum would probably be the ideal for an allergenic sneeze response. Yes.
Awesome, man. We're going to go through a few of these because we've got lots of questions I've got for you here. I'm going to go into it actually because that's fine. Go into it because I actually want to talk to you about one. We're going to go into antifungals. I also want to go into headaches and a few other things, also radiation for flights, traveling, and a few other things like morning energy and calming the nervous system down. But one I wanted to touch on, because I know you went through quite an emotional time last year with your dad, and obviously my love goes out to you and positivity and everything. And I know you went through. I sent you a message at the time. I know you were going through it at the time. It's never good, and you're very strong to go through it. And I think you even posted some stuff about it at the time. So I would say, like, yeah, horrible to hear that, my man. But well done for going through it. But was there anything you used during that time to settle your emotions, or to let things out, or to calm you down? Was there anything that you used to settle down your grief?
Yeah. So I actually made a blend to honor my father's life called Father's Love. And so I actually made that while he was alive, and gave it to him before he passed, and even got to bury one in his coffin with him. And yeah, Father's Love for me was an expression of the love that I have for my father. And it's been a while since I blended it, but I believe some of the ingredients include bergamot, Heba cedarwood, tobacco absolute. It's got tuberose absolute, and it was a very unique, smoky, ancient kind of vibration and aromatic quality, and smells like mahogany wood and my childhood growing up. And so part of the art form for me of releasing my father, which my father was such a gift to my life, and when he passed, he continued to be a gift because it invoked so much growth and calling back my power and deeper levels of clarity on my path. And so part of my healing process really was to craft and create and express my love to my father. And I gave that batch away to all of our customers. I sent a little vial in the mail, and also the oils are definitely there for me at the various stages of my grieving process. Jasmine and neroli, specifically. Flowers really have this quality that can help open up the heart or tune a person into their emotional system on a deeper level. Neroli oftentimes is noted for its support and improvement of shock. And so for those who don't know what neroli is, it is an orange blossom flower. So it's the flower of the orange tree, and it's got a very uplifting, cheery, aromatic quality. And so both flower essences and some flower extract essential oils were really supportive for my emotional system. And for me, integrating my father's passing was, I had the gift of taking some time off of the business and empowering and allowing my team to take care of things to the best of their ability. And our customers and community were really understanding of my time for grieving. And I went into the process as fully and completely as I could for a few months, and took some time off and went to Bali and connected with a real special woman right before I left in Bali. We're still together and have lots of amazing future plans. So, that was my journey of integrating my father's passing and the allyship of the plants.
It's also, I mean, it's lovely to hear that. It's like, if that hadn't have happened, I know it sounds mad, but if your father hadn't have passed, would you have gone to Bali? Would you have met this lady? It's amazing, right?
Yeah, it really is. My true belief is that my father's transition, the love and the space that I held for him, the transition, one of the gifts he left me was he opened up my heart and ready to receive a woman in her fullness, and to go deeper with a woman. And I believe that he brought Ellen into my life, and that he chose to dissolve his older failing body, and now his love shows up to me in a youthful, beautiful hearted female body, and I get to enjoy life with her.
It's awesome, mate. It's lovely, making me smile. It's great. And so so just with the so you made that formula, Father's Love, and you gave that to your members. Would that, I mean, I know it sounds Father's Love, but would that work for losing a female, if I say entity, I was going to say female presence as well? Would that work? Similar sort of flowers are used?
Yeah. So I believe what I heard was suggestions, recommendations for transitioning relationships. Is that what I heard?
Yeah, sorry, I was just saying, like, obviously Father's Love was made for your dad. I didn't know if the masculine and feminine energy, is it similar?
I would say that it's really got a masculine kind of energy to it. Okay. The Father's. Yeah.
Okay. So you need to change it for a woman. Say if you lost your mum, or someone lost a daughter or something like that. Would it be a slightly different formula?
Yeah. I feel like our formulation Evolve has a nice fit and or overlap for that type of transition. That one is relatively new. Let's see, Himalayan cedar, steam distilled rose otto, pink lotus are some of the ingredients in there. And it's a very heart-centered blend. It has us, we have a deeper awareness of our emotional system in the presence of Evolve. And I can see that allows us to be more reflective, introspective, and aid with the processing of the transition of someone like Mom.
Awesome. I think it's just because I know that during those times it can be nice for people to be a bit more centered. I know they've got to feel their grief and feel their emotion and go through it, but it can be nice to have, rather than just to have something that can calm them down, or just to allow them to feel, rather than being out of their head. You know, it can bring them back to their body a little bit more, which is quite a nice feeling. Cool.
I have a real nice pearl to kind of share around grief and transitioning relationships that I found. So rose geranium specifically. I found that to be very helpful, and I've seen this pattern repeated in people that I've suggested and recommended this, where it kind of softens the attachment to the anger in a transitioning relationship, and so it almost allows a person to become more third party to their own emotions around a situation, and so it kind of removes a person from feeling attached to the anger or the story that they are experiencing with another person. And I've seen it aid people in processing the transition of a relationship, and also help bring that relationship back into a place where it can have a healthy friendship as well. So rose geranium is really powerful for that. Love Potion it has rose geranium in it, also neroli and rose. That's a real nice synergy blend for the emotional system to aid with anger, awareness, forgiveness, opening up the heart, and elevating the mood. So those two are really nice in transitions of relationships and grief.
Awesome. Definitely be going into rose geranium and love potion, and evolve. I think you said for women. That's brilliant. Other question I've got for you. Someone like myself who does a lot of flying. There's a lot of flying, and hoping to get out to you, as I mentioned, later on in the year. I know it's it will be. I'm actually looking forward to it. It's just over the just from Cali, just above Cali, aren't you? I think you're above Cali. Yeah, you are, aren't you?
Yep.
Yeah. So like California, Portland, and then so you do a lot of. I've got a lot of flying booked into the summer. For someone who does a lot of travelling, what are some good essential oils for that, and maybe to help the body against radiation, etc.?
Yeah. So I guess I'll say three things come to mind. Our Trinity formulation as a targeted solution for headaches and to support with jet lag. One of the key ingredients in that is rosemary, as it relates to jet lag. It also has peppermint and lavender, so those are both supported for headaches. Rosemary, I've heard some people use pure rosemary to support with jet lag. It's good for cognition, just kind of stimulating, wakes you up a little bit. So that's also a really nice ally to have. For radiation, I did once see a study. It was a number of years ago, but it always stuck with me, so I'm glad you asked, is something about tea tree and its effect of blocking radiation. And so one technique or tool that I've used is I'll keep a bottle of tea tree with me, and I'll put some tea tree in my hands, and I'll kind of cover my body before I actually go through machines.
Really? Okay. Awesome. I do that. I mean, I'm gonna be having like Faraday clothes soon, I think. But tea tree, yeah, perfect. Because I just know that the amount of radiation. I mean, people are surrounded by it now anyway. Computers, phones, and then on the plane. Obviously, you get a plane when you're up high as well. It becomes an issue, and if you're doing it for quite a long time. So Trinity formulation, rosemary, the tea tree. Could you put all those together? Would that be too much? Would you use one, or would it be okay to put them together?
I feel like tea tree and Trinity would be a good. I feel like those two can really be a nice, well balanced
combination.
And I would say that the tea tree would be most ideal applied before exposing yourself around machines that are emitting high levels of radiation. And then I would say the Trinity formulation you can massage into the scalp, into the temples, probably before, during, and after the flight. That would be my suggestion.
Cool, awesome. Right, next one. We go through them here. Maybe we can have a little chat. So radiation was awesome. So I've been asked for ladies especially, balancing hormones, people that are going through issues like that, maybe it be hormone replacement therapy or premenopausal, or just with their. Are you getting feedback here?
I'm not.
That's perfect.
I'm fine.
Perfect. Just so anything that can balance hormones out naturally, what would be your best blends or go-tos?
Yep. So I have one clear answer, and that clear answer is our moon cycle formulation. And moon cycle was inspired by a small clinical trial that was looking at using lavender, sweet marjoram, and clary sage in a 2-to-1 ratio. And
How about clary sage? Yeah.
And I took that base formula, and the study, what it found was it had a clinical significant reduction of PMS symptoms in women, and it was a very small study, and I thought it was interesting. So they took this massage oil and noticed a reduction in PMS. So I took that base formula, and then I added in roseradium, bergamot, blue yarrow, and fennel, and I infused it into fractionated coconut oil enhanced with ormus. So moon cycle, what I've seen over the years is really stunning, especially coming from a background of pharmacy. And what I've been told by women, and I've had several women close to me in life, some of them partners for quite a number of years, is that the moon cycle is really able to bring a better balance into a woman's cycle. And so giving specific examples, I've had women who hadn't had their cycles for years because they were on hormones for years and years, and on several occasions, using the oil once to twice a day applied to the lower abdomen, within about a month, typically. These women who hadn't had their period or any spotting or bleeding for years started regaining a regular cycle. And so for my mind, that was really powerful and eye-opening the first time it happened. And it is more than just 1 or 10. I've really seen a general trend of using regular use to actually bring back some balance. Moon cycle seems to be a little bit less effective for women who are post-menopause, but pre-menopause, this really seems to be a powerful formulation. Oftentimes, women will share with me that when they're regular-ish, they like to use moon cycle several days before, during, and several days after their cycle. And it kind of helps with some of the mood and reduces some of the cramps and the bloating, and maybe helps bring a little bit more regularity when it's a little bit fluctuation in terms of its time cycle.
Right. So undulated, rather than using it for the whole month, you use it around the period where they'll be menstruating.
Precisely.
Okay, because it's interesting. Because I always like to say that these things, I don't like to say like magic bullets. Oh, you got all these issues, just use this, it's going to go away. I always like to say that doing this part of a good healthy diet, lifestyle, getting your sleep right, excuse me, like reducing your stress, a lot of things that we do. And you add these things in, and all of a sudden it's very, very powerful. You know, the combination of doing all these things together enhances the abilities of your formulas. And so, I mean, I'm guessing as well, those women are probably, majority of them are probably doing quite a lot right. So it allows the formula to express itself even more.
Yeah, well said. Yeah, I think all the self-care and awareness about the food that we're putting into the body and the rituals we're taking, and avoiding toxins in sprayed or pesticide food. I'm kind of assuming your listeners as a baseline are optimizing their health and their vitality.
Yeah, most of them are. I just want any new listeners just to know this isn't like a magic bullet. I always say to people, magic bullets. You're just hoping for the best, and maybe it'll work for some people. It's like someone said to me the other day, Ryan, what do you think about turmeric? Or Ryan, what about aloe vera? I'm like, yeah, it's great, but you need to, in conjunction with a holistic lifestyle and doing things right, it's phenomenal. But you're just putting it on and hoping for the best when you're doing a million things wrong. I mean, it's just like pie in the sky, thinking it's going to be able to help. But really, that's really interesting. I'm really going to go for that. I've got some clients right now, been using a few things, and they've a lot better. One of the ladies I'm dealing with, when she came to me 2 years ago, she was a bit like a frog in a blender, I like to say, literally helped me, and we've got to such a great stage, and now it's a little bit tweaking, and I'm looking for something that can help, and I really would love to try that, which is wicked. Cool. So, right, another one. You mentioned it a little bit there, I think you said, actually. Would the rosemary be good for headaches? Was that what you said?
Yes. Yeah. So our Trinity formulation would be our ideal formulation for headaches and muscle rubs.
Perfect. Cool. So before we get into AM and PM, I want to go into youthing. Anything that's great for anti-aging youthing that you could recommend?
I really like the ultrasonic lion's mane, as you were describing, as something to really stimulate cognitive function. What's interesting about lion's mane is I believe studies have suggested that lion's mane is effective as you continue to use it, and the effects can I don't know if it diminishes or are lost when you're not using it, but it's more of a temporary gain was kind of my understanding of that. So other things that I think are supportive, skin is the largest organ in our body, and one of the most powerful skin formulations that I've had, which I use semi-regularly, is our Sacred Toner formulation. And Sacred Toner is a combination of Moroccan cedar, CO2 extracts of frankincense and myrrh, rose geranium, and helichrysum hydrosols infused into water with colloidal silver. And it's a real nice formulation that just, the skin soaks it up. You might see I have some shine on my face, and it really coats the skin, and it tightens the pores, and it leaves the skin feeling radiant. And so if the skin is shining that brightly, imagine what it feels like, and how it's that youthful energy and that protective coating and molecules going into the skin, that's feeding my body, is my perception. So, taking care of the body, taking care of the skin, I think is important. Mm-hmm. There's definitely a number of CO2 extracted carrier oils that are healthy for skincare. Items like CO2 extracted rosehip seed oil or pomegranate seed oil. Those are really richening and enlivening for the skin. One formula that I really like, I would say that it's kind of like mild to moderate performance enhancement would be cognitively would be our Invigor formulation. So Invigor is a combination of caraway, cardamom, sweet basil, 2 types of rosemary, peppermint, silver fir, and frankincense. And the way that I enjoy working with Invigor is taking a few drops onto my hands, rubbing the hands together, and then taking 3 deep inhalations and then massaging it into the scalp and into the back of my neck.
Do you ever put them into the elbow joints or behind the back of the knees or the bottom of the feet? I put things on the bottom of my feet pretty often. I haven't played much with the inner parts of the elbows. That's an interesting thought. You want to share anything about that? Oh, it's just like behind backs of the knees, inner elbows. It's just it's like bottoms of the feet. It absorbs very readily into the skin. It's just one of the parts of the body where say like absorption's pretty quick and pretty strong. It's just one of the things that if people don't like the bottoms of their feet being touched, then inner elbows and behind the backs of the knees. It used to use magnesium. Is very good for like putting magnesium there, and I've done it with lavender essential oils as well. Very relaxing. So it's just an area that the body absorbs quicker. So I didn't wondered if you use them at all.
Yeah, I'm going to play with that sometime. I would imagine that the back of the knees and the back of the elbows are a little bit more sensitive and can have levels of irritation compared to the bottom of the feet.
Yeah, so not back of the elbows, inside of the elbows. Yeah.
Inside of the
elbows. Yeah, so outside the elbows and back of the knees. Yeah, and as you said, like it's like the neck does as well. But they're just because it's also because they're not because they're bent a lot as well. They're not always exposed as much as the things at the inside. Trying to think what it was. There was a specific reason why as well. I think it's also because obviously they're around joints, and so for some reason they absorb more. I can't remember what it was, but there was a reason behind it. I had to go into it. But yeah,
skin is a little bit thinner as well.
Thinner, yeah, more pliable. So give it a go and see what you think.
Yeah,
right,
I will.
Awesome.
You mentioned something about back of the neck. A really fun hack that I've discovered over the years. If you put a drop of peppermint essential oil, and if you're sensitive, you'll want to dilute the peppermint oil first. But I'll typically use the essential oil neat or undiluted. So I'll use one or two drops of the peppermint essential oil on the back of my neck when I'm traveling in tropical areas or areas that have a much higher temperature. And what's interesting is it seems to drop the core body temperature. And so it's great on days that are really, really warm and you're feeling overheated. It just seems to cool everything down, both subjectively and literally.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome. I'll give that a go. Peppermint, back of the neck to cool you down. You use it in Bali?
I used it a little bit in Bali and definitely in South America quite a few times.
Cool. I'll give that a go, back of the neck. I mean, but I bet it gets pretty hot where you are in the summer, right?
Oh, it can, yeah.
Yeah, we have to use it there. Right. So a couple of things. There's one. I want to go into antifungal in a minute, but because of what's been going on recently with the coronavirus, whether you believe in it or if it's man-made or whatever it is, it doesn't matter. I want to talk about immunity. and boosting it up. And I said it was funny. I actually put a post out the other day because there was a picture of I think a Chinese lady with a mask on, and she was eating a chicken burger and a big bottle of Coke, and I was like, how about we do things to boost the immune system rather than hoping that mask is going to help, And so with that, I was just said, like, obviously hot and cold contrast showers, good food, sunlight, etc., etc., etc. One of the things I then mentioned was essential oils. So what essential oils would you use or promote in terms of boosting the immune system?
Yeah. So, simply put, I have some formulations that that would be my go-to, for what you're suggesting. Our, Prabhupada Immune, which we're going to be changing to the name Immunity, and our, Super Immune Boost Tincture. Those are both the same formulation. One is infused into organic sugarcane alcohol, so it's easier to use.
Is that a super boost? Is that a super one?
Yeah, Super Immune Boost. And the other formulation that comes to heart is our Respire formulation. So that's great for bronchodilation of the lungs, stimulating the alveoli. Has antiviral properties, antibacterial properties. So it feels very soothing and refreshing, and also stimulates the immune system. Now, talking about our immunity formula a little bit more, it's peppermint, oregano, cinnamon, clove, and eucalyptus. So definitely some heavy hitters in that formulation. And I'm remembering tea tree tea tree, eucalyptus, and I believe it may have been thyme, but I'm not 100% positive on that. Those essential oils have been studied, and some of the things they found were that not only do they have antibacterial properties, but they also stimulate the white blood cells in the body. So it's actually stimulating the immune system.
Right, awesome. Yeah, they are some heavy hitters. So definitely as well, like olive oregano, that's powerful. I was going to ask, have you ever played around with grapefruit seed?
Grapefruit seed extract.
Yeah.
I have, yeah. I used it when I was younger. I feel like I'm a little bit closer to the source of medicine these days. What I've been told is that I, I've been told by some people, and I haven't looked deeper into this, that it's typically extracted using hexane, and so it's
Really?
not the cleanest extraction method. And I rather than shying away from it or saying it's a bad product, I have used it in the past. I would prefer to say that I think I have better allies at my disposal.
Cool. It's something that I like. The three things I generally keep for if I ever feel run down. That was one of them: grapefruit seed extract, olive oregano.
Eel silver,
What's that?
colloidal silver.
That was one. I stopped using that a couple of years ago when I heard some things about that as well. But
Yeah.
colloidal silver. What was the other one I like to use? I got it. I use garlic in terms of garlic capsules. But that sounds that your super immune boost sounds. Could you mix the super immune boost and the Respire together? Would that be too much?
You definitely can. You know, the Respire I like to use as a topical, rub it into the hands, breathe it into the lungs. And so that kind of gets a slow systemic absorption through the lungs, and or maybe a quick systemic absorption through the lungs. And then the super immune boost, take a drop on the tongue, is how
Really?
I it, and it's infused in alcohol, so it's greatly diluted. And I just like to use this thing on the tongue, also breathe it in, and that's also going to be working its way through the digestive system, and so that's going to have a little bit longer of a mechanism of action, if you will, inside of the body. I see both of them as complementary.
Yeah.
The Respire, I see. Respire may have a little bit more potency regarding its antiviral support, and also, again, opening and supporting the lungs. So, I see that they each have their own bandwidth of support that feels really synergistic.
So when you mentioned, I mean, because some of the things you mentioned in them, I was going to ask about antifungal, and also you got antiviral properties. So would that be one you use for antifungal and antiviral properties to Respire?
To a degree, yes. Our go-to for antifungal, I would say, would be our Candida formula. Candida was really my best effort to create something that's supportive and antifungal. It's been a while since I formulated it. Rose geranium, pink pepper, tea tree, peppermint, oregano are some of the ingredients in that formula. And that's my broad spectrum antifungal formulation. I've used it topically. It's a little on the concentrated side, so you can dilute it further if you have sensitive skin. But I've applied it topically when in the past when I've had oral thrush.
You've had that as well, have you? Lovely, that, isn't it? Good fun, that.
Yeah, about probably 8 or 7 years ago was when I was having oral thrush experiences, and that's when I started making this Candida formulation. And I would take that oil, I'd infuse it into fractionated coconut oil, and then further dilute it in coconut oil, and I would do oil pulling for 10 to 15 minutes.
Right.
And I would swish it and then spit it after about 15 minutes of swishing. And it's really amazing, the power of oils, and that's really a very targeted formulation that seems to generally support the immune system, but also really target and have antifungal support.
What was the ingredients in that one again, Nick?
Yeah. The ingredients that I remember in this moment are peppermint, oregano, rose geranium, tea tree.
That's right. It's quite a strong formula. That it can be quite a it's a unique smell. tea tree and geranium is actually nice, but then oregano and tea tree together are quite a powerful mix. Cool. No worries. Right. So a couple of other ones, because some people, if they're not getting their sleep and not their diet right, they're always looking for a boost in the AM and to relax in the PM. Well, relaxing the PM I understand, because people today, they're so surrounded by so much, they've got so much going on, they find it hard to relax. So have you got any formulas to start off with the AM to get people like up and alert and maybe just into their routine?
Yeah. So regarding AM formulas, I really like our Ultrasonic Lion's Mane. I know we've talked about that a number of times.
Awesome.
We'll probably be extracting that again in about 3 weeks. So I would imagine in March we'll be back in stock with that.
Wow.
Yeah.
Save me one.
Our Invigor formulation is also a great ritual to have first thing in the morning, or kind of afternoon breaks from work or passion focused projects. Other things that I like in the morning, the immune boost can be a nice little morning kicker, breath freshener, stimulate the immune system. I wouldn't suggest that every day, but short targeted bursts. If you're feeling really tired and your immune system maybe feels like it's lacking, that can be a nice little morning boost. Citrus Blast. That could be a nice formulation to put into your diffuser in your environment. Citrus Blast and or rosemary. Both of those can be very uplifting. Citrus really seems to stimulate the immune system and uplift the mood. It's rich in D-limonene, and so I can see Citrus Blast being an ally, and on that note, if you have a resonance or a preference for a specific smell, especially if it's neutral and or stimulating plant, neutral might be something like, a cedar oil can be maybe slightly relaxing, but I don't know. Maybe rose geranium can be a neutral. Peppermint or rosemary or sweet basil can be stimulating. So those would be examples of nice oils to diffuse in the morning. Other things. I really like our ultrasonic skullcap tincture. Now, what's interesting is most people know it to be a nervine tonic, and my experience with
what do you mean by that? Sorry.
Something that affects the nervous system, relaxes the nervous system.
Relaxes, okay.
And what I find is that it's less about relaxing and it's more adaptogenic in its types of qualities. And so what's awesome about skullcap is I've noticed that it's if you take it first thing when you wake up, it helps to clear your mind, which is hopefully more clear in the morning already. It helps to kind of soften the mind. If I take it before a presentation or during a podcast or focus work, I find that my focus, my mind becomes more sharp and focused and clear. When I take it before I go to bed, I find that it helps to relax my mind.
So it really is an epigenic then, yeah.
Thoughts. And so I find our ultrasonic skull cap to be amazing in morning, afternoon, evening. It really seems to be adaptogenic and supporting to what a person needs.
That's awesome, man. Cool. That's brilliant to know that one, the ultrasonic skull cap. Okay. And then for PM, so you could use that. You could use that again for PM, right? So you could use the ultrasonic skull cap for PM.
Yeah. Yeah. So for PM, I guess the dialogue that's coming up in my mind right now is for PM, I feel like people can have different intentions. So there could be the intention to reduce stress, and there can also be the intention to maybe unwind, and then also to aid with sleep. So kind of covering a few of those.
I thought you was going to say make love then as well.
Yeah, that's totally true. And that could be a morning, afternoon, and evening.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah.
And I definitely have some awesome oils that are really sweet for connection with others as well. So I can talk about those. Cool. So PM would be, I would say for stress, our Violet Chill formulation. Awesome. Breathe it in, apply it to the bottom of your feet. It's a nice, kind of takes the edge off is what I like to tell people. It's not too powerful. It doesn't slow down overactive thoughts, but it makes everything quieter. It just relaxes the system, the physiology. Other ones, I feel like my Moon Cycle and my Kava Chill formulation are some of the best allies that I have for sleep. They have a very similar essential oil profile. Moon Cycle, I do want to mention, that's a formulation that I said to support and balance with women's hormones. As a man, I actually keep Moon Cycle right behind my head on the headboard of my bed. And for days that my head is my mind is racing, I massage that into the bottom of my
just lost you there.
Feet, and that.
Sorry, Nick, I just lost.
It helps me transition into sleep.
Sorry, I just lost you there. You massage it into the bottom of your feet. Is that what you said?
Yes. So I'll pick it up from there. So Moon Cycle, I massage it right below the bottom of my feet before I go to bed if my mind is having overactive thoughts, and it really aids me in slowing down an overactive mind, and it helps me to transition into sleep more easily. It's synergistic with Kava Chill. I feel like the Kava in the Kava Chill helps to relax the physical body and reduce stress in the physical body with a mild level of euphoria as well. And so it's really nice to take physical tension, relax the mind, and transition into sleep more easily. So those are synergistic for sleep, and you can also combine with ultrasonic skull cap as well. So those would be some of my go-tos for sleep. Relaxation, I spoke about Violet Chill, and stress, Roman chamomile or Cape chamomile are nice allies for de-stressing. Sweet marjoram is also one that takes off the edge and is really soothing and relaxing. Ylang ylang is, some people know it as ylang ylang, or all types of names for it. Right?
It's a lovely smell there. It's quite a potent one, but it's a nice smell. I really like it.
Yeah, I agree with everything you just said there. It's very tropical, fruity, and intense, and it's not everyone. Ylang ylang seems to be, so what's interesting about ylang ylang is it seems to reduce blood pressure. Some studies have looked and seen that it may decrease blood pressure and reduce stress. And what I've noticed about ylang ylang is it can be a real powerful aphrodisiac. And so so that could be a nice one to diffuse, to kind of create this tropical like environment in the house or in the bedroom. That's both sweet, sexy, and relaxing. What I will say is not everyone is going to like the smell of ylang. So, it will stress you out if you're not enjoying the smell of it, would be my belief. We also, I actually just made this really amazing massage oil. I haven't done a massage oil for quite some time. I don't even have a label for it yet. It's going to be called Nutmeg Massage Oil. And it's a combination of CO2 extracted nutmeg and mace, which is the inner and outer layer of the nutmeg seed. It's got CO2 extracted carrot seed, ylang ylang extra, and just a touch of clove, just such a small amount because clove is really powerful and can be sensitizing to the skin. And we've infused that into fractionated coconut oil and put it in a Myron glass bottle.
Oh, really?
And that could be that's a really nice sensual massage oil that's just generally supportive for warming up the muscles and relaxing the nervous system with, I would say, mild to moderate aphrodisiac properties. And that's a really nice balanced formula for, I can see it being really well received in sports massage and just connection with friends and partners.
Awesome. And so I want to get on to, well, you mentioned there, I'll come on to that last. Got a couple. So you mentioned there love making or connection. In fact, because you talk about it, we're going to that first. So love making connection, you said, well, that nutmeg massage oil could probably be used for partners or husband and wife or whatever you want to use. Anything else?
Yeah. So our choco nuts are our CO2 extracted cocoa or our choco nuts. I think choco nut would be even a better bet. That's a combination of cacao absolute, CO2 cocoa, and CO2 extracted coconut pulp. And so you have a chocolate coconut aromatic formula that's infused in fractionated coconut oil, and that's really good for massage. It's a nice lubricant, tastes and smells amazing.
Oh,
and
yeah.
So fun's really fun to play with partners and connect. Ylang ylang, like we started sharing about, that could be diffused in the background. Ylang ylang can be really powerful. What I've noticed is if ylang ylang is used for several days, it really seems to stimulate sex drive for both men and women. So typically, I'm not suggesting this for other people. And what I've played around with is using a single drop in a capsule and then filling it up with a carrier oil and swallowing that and using a drop twice a day. What I find is at about 48 hours, I don't know, as a healthy young man with a vital sex drive already, I feel like my sex drive increases by about 50%.
Really, that much?
It actually feels borderline uncomfortable. And so, just be aware on how you want to channel.
So maybe just one drop once a day, not twice.
Maybe that would be the answer. Yeah. So, on that, on all of those notes, our ultrasonic tribulus and ultrasonic epimedium are really awesome formulas that I would say are both in peak performance categories and can be powerful aphrodisiacs.
That was tribulus, and
epimedium. Yeah, epimedium is also known as horny goatweed. It's an herb that's been used in Chinese medicine for thousands of years. Just real quick on each of them. They're powerful Jing tonic herbs. They can be used. I like semi-regularly. I've played with it, small doses, larger doses, every day, every few days. I kind of like a little bit every few days is kind of what I'm currently jamming. But the value that I've really received from both epimedium and tribulus is a deeper awareness in my physical body. A goal that I had in 2019 was to really ground myself more in my physical body and really take the actions that are supporting my physical health and well-being. And I feel like both epimedium and tribulus helped to inspire deeper levels of care for my physical health. And so how that shows up is I have more vitality and I feel a deeper level of inspiration to go for a walk or run or go to the gym and lift out and lift weights and have more sex and do things that people who have physical health and vitality enjoy.
Phenomenal. I'll be giving that a go. The tribulus and the horny goatweed. Sounds good. I mean, I always say, because I'm always like quite energetic anyway. Like, I love gym movement. I'm into it all the time. I'm always just thinking, what levels would I get to if I used all these? I did for a period of time use quite a lot, and I was using. Maybe mixing the two. I want to get a few of these and use them individually and really see how my system goes, especially because you've got quite a few good blends and mixes here, which would be fantastic. It's just I'm really interested in that lang using it for a period of time, the choco nut, the ultrasonic skull cap, and the lion's mane. In fact, there's quite a lot here. The immunity super boost, the respire. I mean, you could go all day, right? One you could, yeah. One I actually want to ask you about for men. Is there anything that you've seen to help with hair loss or balding?
So yeah, there's I'll say two things on that. One is I have a sexy hair formation that
just lost you there. 1 second.
Pretty awesome. It stimulates.
There you go. You said you got. So I don't know why it just cut out. But you said you got a sexy hair formula.
Yeah, so I have a product called Sexy Hair, which is it's a nice synergy formulation of different essential oils. It includes rosemary, peppermint, ylang ylang, frankincense, ginger, nagarmota, and it's infused in argan oil. And I like to put a few drops into my scalp before or after a shower. I guess typically towards the end of a shower is usually when I use it, or sometimes just throughout the day. I'll use it once, usually use it in the morning. And the intention of it...
On wet hair, Nick? On wet hair?
On wet hair, yes. Yeah. On wet hair, usually towards the end of a shower, but sometimes halfway through the day, I'll put it on dry hair.
Okay.
Yeah, good question. Thank you. So I find that feels very enlivening and supportive. There's been another product that I've seen that is not mine, but it seems to work well for thickening hair growth as well. And it's a C60 product. And I think it's C360health.com. And I'm surprised. It's that in conjunction with my sexy hair product seems to be really thickening my scalp personally. And so,
C360. Have you also looked into the Jove red light?
I have a smaller light from True Dark. I haven't dove into the Juve yet.
The results I've seen with the Juve are pretty spectacular as well. Yeah, from
What's the distance that
it can be they can be as close as you want, and then it's really good for recovery and other immune boosting properties and even youthing. But it's obviously the actual results I've seen from people I know and people that I've even put in my mate's brother, for example, his hair, it was actually phenomenal. And so I was wondering, putting those together. And obviously you can get like a big panel or a smaller panel, but if you can stimulate it naturally, I think it was quite powerful for that. But yeah, once again, like using those three in conjunction rather than just one could be like, it could multiply the effectiveness of it.
Yeah, totally exponential synergistic. I feel that.
Perfect.
When we were talking about PM, I also mentioned helping to de-stress or unwind. I would maybe like to just suggest a few items around that. I know sometimes our lifestyles we can have ups and downs throughout the day. Sometimes people really like to de-stress, unwind. Sometimes that's with alcohol. Sometimes that's with drugs. And, I'm choosing not to judge any of it and just share a little bit of opportunities from what I have in my line. I could see our ultrasonic Damiana being a nice, relaxing, slightly euphoric, mood elevating, slightly aphrodisiac herb extract. That's in a tincture form. That's Damiana.
Mm-hmm. They got Damiana teas in. I think it's where Amazon does the Damiana teas. It's good. So you said it's slightly euphoric.
Slightly euphoric, mood elevating. I feel like lights get a little bit brighter. The physical body relaxes, kind of puts a smile on my face, an even bigger smile.
Is that possible? So this would be like your version, the nature's version of Mandy. Is that what we're going for?
I would say Damiana is pretty cheery. It's gently cheery. I would say Clip Daga for people who feel higher levels of stress and like the feeling of cannabis or like kind of a euphoric feeling or somewhat of a to disconnecting or easing the connection. I think Clip Daga, and that's KLIP Daga, DAGGA. I believe Clip Daga is a nice ally. Arcavi Euphoria tincture that relaxes the physical body, and it's also mild to moderately euphoric and uplifting. It's got a nice, rich essential oil profile of black pepper, pink pepper, tulsi, clary sage, frankincense, myrrh, ylang ylang, rose geranium. It's a really powerful synergy, and I would say that that's a nice alcohol substitute that feels.
Oh, really? You can, what? So what would you? So would you have that? Would you smell it, infuse it, or would you have it in a liquid, or how would you have it?
Yeah, so it's an infusion tincture. So it's pre-diluted into fractionated coconut oil, and I like to take typically about quarter of a dropper to a dropper full under the tongue, and hold it there for about 30 seconds to a minute. And, my suggestion is to avoid combining kava and alcohol because both of them are metabolized by the liver and that can put increased levels of stress onto the body. But the kava euphoria, it's a nice social lubricant. It feels good. It relaxes the body. It's uplifting to the mood and it feels a little bit floaty. So it's a nice feeling.
Well, would you mix any of those or not?
Would I mix
the Damiana, the Clip, or the
with Damiana and Kava Euphoria feels like it would be a nice combination. The three of them, I feel like Clip Daga would go well with Damiana or Kava Euphoria, but I don't feel like all three of them want to play with each other.
Okay, so those two and those two, perfect. And so the live shelf of your products, Nick, are they the live shelf of your products? When people buy them, are they? I mean, will they ever go off, as they say, or go out of date, or are they good until they're used?
Mm-hmm. So it sounds like inquiring about expiration date. So typically the pure essential oils are good for multiple years, oftentimes about 3 to 7 years, 2 to 5, 3 to 7. Thicker oils like patchouli, sandalwood, some of the thicker woods and resins, oftentimes will get better with time, aromatically speaking. Kind of a general rule of thumb, I would say about 2 to 3 years or more oils are going to be good for. Citrus oils are probably the biggest exception to the rule. Citrus oils start to oxidize the most quickly, and typically within about a year. That's kind of the height of
still a long time, isn't it?
Quality. Yeah. And, it's still going to smell nice and be appreciable, but, maybe it's probably less desirable to use them internally if that was a person's intention for a citrus oil.
Right.
With a greater span of time, like a year.
The ultrasonics, how long do they last?
So we just started doing the extracts late 2018 of ultrasonics. We haven't had any spoil yet. Right. The intention is that they're stable because we're adding alcohol into it. We're making it into a tincture formulation. So the alcohol should stabilize the tincture. That's our hopes. So we haven't seen them go off yet. And the goal is that they don't go off.
Awesome. So yeah. That's awesome. So I want to actually talk about, no, we do that now. Do you sell diffusers, or what diffuser would you recommend if you have got one?
Yeah. So we do offer a diffuser through one of our partners, and it's available on our website. And
I was trying to look for that. I can't find it. Where is that?
Well, it's
Share EO. Is that what it is?
It should be under accessories. If you search, just search for diffuser, I'm sure it'll come up. And if not, I'll make sure that it.
Diffuser. Let's have a look.
But we have a partner that is producing bamboo. I believe they're bamboo. Really beautiful laser engraved bamboo or wood, and the glass, it's in a glass. And what's nice about it is you don't need to dilute it in water, and it uses ultrasonic technology to ignite the essential oil. And so the benefit of that is you're not actually heating the oil. And so pharmacologically, it's unchanged. It's how it's expressed in the oil. And so the heat doesn't damage it like it can in some diffusers. And so you don't have plastic parts that are getting eaten up by the oil or affected. And you're getting the oil unchanged into the environment. It's a pretty powerful device, and so it spreads throughout the room
Right.
pretty
It's
well.
the raindrop diffuser.
Exactly.
Right.
Yeah.
Got ya. Raindrop diffuser. So no
Yeah.
water needed, and you also got the essential oil carrying case, which is quite good. I need to look into these definitely. So I'll definitely add that on. That's an interesting thing. Not having to use water, etc. That's powerful. You said it used the ultrasonic technology, which is brilliant. Yeah, cool. All right, awesome. It didn't come up. I actually had to type that into your shop, into your search bar diffuser, and then it come up, which is cool. Just so anyone listening, if you can't find it on the website, which is essentialoilwizardry.com, then just type diffuser into the search bar and you'll be able to find it. Anything else you'd recommend, Nate, that you've been going on? I know you said you've got a few things you're working on, but anything else you'd like to discuss?
Well, I guess I'm feeling a lot of excitement about really connecting in deeper with our community this year, 2020. After integrating my father's passing, I'm feeling more inspired to, yeah, start sharing more wisdom, more knowledge with our community. Going to be hosting a transformational botanical retreat in Ashland, Oregon. We're going to be announcing the exact dates and locations in coming weeks, and we're looking at about either June or July this year. And so I'm excited to get a good group out, and we are going to dive deeper into the world of pure essential oils, tinctures, cacao. Working with the different oils and ceremony with intention. We're going to be making our own blends, having little ceremonies with jasmine hydrosol. There's so many different ways to dive in to learn more what the plants have to offer us. And I feel from my experience, being integrated and sharing the experience, we really are able to absorb and learn the wisdom and embody it. And so a goal that I have in 2020 is to, have more private, both one-on-one and small group retreats for our botanical ambassadors that are choosing to share our essential oil products with the world. And I'm also really inspired to create more content and share that with our alchemy tribe. We have a private membership group for people that are inspired to go a little bit deeper with the oils. And we offer both monthly packages and deeper access to content, information, and behind the scenes at the lab. And so 2020, my goal is to just really inspire people to really step into my power and express the gift that comes through me, and to share that with others, and to inspire people to be the best versions of themselves.
That's awesome, man. With the retreats, etc. Do you know how many people you'll have spaces for, and what sort of price range it would be, or not yet?
Yeah, I'm looking at about 555 to 777. That's my estimated. I still need to get some costs back. Finalize things, and we're looking at about 33 people, and I'm also open to doing smaller one-on-one trainings, and I don't have the exact price count on that, but we're looking at a few $1,000s for a weekend, and fully catered, and stay with us and be integrated into the lab and check out all the extraction equipment and the processes and create your own essential oil blend. And it's a full initiation and experience.
Yeah.
And I'm actually going to be I have our first one-on-one retreat happening this weekend with one of our alchemy tribe members. So I'm really excited.
Awesome. So with that, when you said the one-on-ones are the one-on-ones that you get food, etc. Does on the group ones, will people, if they come in, will they have to get their own accommodation and own food, or is that all taken care of as well?
Yeah, that's Depending on the size of the group,
Yeah.
we may be willing to host. We can host several people, and we can also have. Last year, we had a few campouts at the lab, having up to 10 people. So depends on the season, because right now it's winter,
Yeah.
so there's less accommodations, and there's also a local hot springs as well that has both luxury and also kind of camp out style accommodations. So there's definitely options here in Ashland, and yeah, people can just reach out directly if they're inspired and want to dive in deeper with me one-on-one or in a small group.
Awesome, man. It's been absolutely fantastic talking to you. Look forward to getting this out to people. Look forward to promoting your stuff and getting it out to my audience as well, because I know how powerful just your vision, everything, your knowledge is, and I think it's important to get this out to people. Rather than using synthetic toxic drugs, we can use the plants as guides and as entities to help the body heal. Yet people experience. A lot of people won't have experienced the power of these things, which is something that people need to. Some of the things you've mentioned here today, a lot of people haven't even heard of them. Ultrasonic extracts, ultrasonic lion's mane, Invigor formula. I mean, just going through the amount of notes I've taken down here, it's just outstanding. And I'm someone who's reasonably knowledgeable in the health industry, and it's just the blend you put together. So it's fascinating talking to you, Nick, and thanks for doing what you're doing.
Oh, you're so welcome, Ryan. I hope that you can join us at one of our botanical retreats, maybe even this year, bro.
100%, I will be out. Cheers for that, Nick. Thank you very much.
Hey, thank you so much, Ryan.
So there we have it, guys. Episode 145 with Dr. Nick Berry. As I said before, if you haven't listened to the first episode with him, please do go back and look through that. It was a fantastic episode. And this one, bosh, we covered everything. As I said before, everything from hormones to balding, AM to PM to things here like grief, relationships, things that can increase your libido. We went into everything. Even travel will be great for travel. So lots of fantastic information there. And as Nick said, he's be having retreats to his place in Portland, Oregon. It's actually Ashland. And heading over to www.essentialoilwizardry.com. The site will be getting an update into the month, but if you want any of these products and you put in the code REVIVE, you're going to get 10% off. That's the code REVIVE. You're getting 10% off, and they are, in my opinion, the best essential oils on the planet, with the guy who is just a bit of a nose, really. Let's be honest. He's an absolute nose for it, and that's brilliant. I mean it in the nicest way possible. He's the essential oil wizard. He's not called that for no reason. And it comes to it, there's no one I'd trust more. And he's doing fantastic things with extracts, ultrasonic extracts, and normal tinctures, and essential oils. He's using structured water. There's just so much going on. So really, really top guy. Can't wait to get him out to more of the world and for you to experience his products. As I said before, Revive, code Revive, and you get 10% off. As always, guys and girls, as I mentioned before, if you're heading over to www.reviveyourself.co, we've got our shop there. And if you're heading over to www.thechronicfatiguesolution.com, that's www.thechronicfatiguesolution.com, you can pick up my book, and you've got the hard copy or the audio version there too, if you prefer to listen rather than read. As I said before, the book, if it's the hard copy, you're not even paying for the book, you're just paying for the printing and posting and packaging. I just want that information into your hands. It's very, very powerful, and I've got great reviews. And as I said before, if you put a hashtag out there with the chronic fatigue solution with a picture of you reading it, or just a picture of the book, you will enter our prize for our free 21-day health reset, which will definitely kick off your start of the healing journey. So let me know about that. Also, if you have been dealing with a chronic health issue and you're looking to get over it and put it behind you as fast as possible, then please send me an email to ryan@reviveyourself.co. That's ryan@reviveyourself.co. And we can have a chat about how we can help you, because we can. Otherwise, that's it for this week, guys and girls. As always, stay happy, stay healthy, and I'll speak to you soon. Bye-bye.
If you're struggling with gut issues, such as gas, bloating, constipation, diarrhea, indigestion, heartburn, and want to finally be able to eat the foods you love without the crippling after effects, then don't forget to head over to reviveyourself.co and pick up your free copy of The Healing Health Paradigm today.